They say sleep is precious, and it is. But there's something more precious than rest: your dreams. The future you want doesn't wait for you to hit the snooze button. The life you crave won't pause while you decide if you're too tired to chase it. Success isn't built in the comfort of soft pillows and long nights of easy rest. Success is born in the sacrifice, the hours you give up when the world sleeps, the sweat you pour out when no one is watching, the work you put in while others are too comfortable to move. Think about it. Every person you admire, every champion, every entrepreneur, every innovator who changed the world, at one point, they had to choose comfort or greatness, sleep or sacrifice. They chose to push forward when it was inconvenient. They chose to work while others rested. They chose to trade a few hours of sleep for a lifetime of impact. The truth is, your dreams are fragile. They can be stolen, not by someone else, but by your own hesitation, your own excuses, your own decision to put tomorrow ahead of today. Dreams die in the silence of procrastination, but they thrive in the fire of sacrifice. When you look in the mirror, do you see someone who wants comfort or someone who craves greatness? Because you can't have both. If you want to stand on the mountaintop, if you want to hold the trophy, if you want to create a legacy, you have to be willing to pay the price that others won't. And yes, that price often includes sleep. Imagine this. It's 2 a.m., the world is quiet, everyone else is in bed. And there you are, writing, studying, practicing, building, training, creating. No distractions, no excuses. Just you, your vision, and your grind. That's when dreams are built. Not in the daylight of comfort, but in the midnight of discipline. But let's be real, this isn't easy. Your body will scream for rest. Your mind will whisper, take a break, you deserve it. And sometimes, yes, you do need to rest. But the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is this. The ordinary listens to comfort. The extraordinary listens to purpose. Sacrificing sleep doesn't mean destroying yourself. It means choosing wisely. It means cutting out wasted time scrolling through social media, watching endless shows, or lying in bed when you could be building the life you claim you want. It's about replacing empty hours with powerful actions. Every time you choose sacrifice over sleep, you're sending a message to yourself. I'm serious. I'm committed. I want this more than I want to rest. And that message, repeated night after night, becomes your identity. You stop being the person who dreams, and you become the person who does. Success doesn't come to the well-rested. It comes to the relentless. The hustlers, the grinders, the people who sacrifice comfort today so they can live free tomorrow. So let me ask you, are you willing to lose a few hours of sleep to gain a lifetime of achievement? Are you willing to push through fatigue, through doubt, through excuses, and prove to yourself that your dreams matter more than comfort? Because if you are, your life will change forever. Sacrifice sleep, not your dreams. Because pillows will always be there, but opportunities won't. When you hear the word sacrifice, it can sound intimidating. It feels heavy, like giving something up that you desperately want. But here's the truth. Sacrifice isn't loss, it's investment. It's trading what's easy now for what's extraordinary later. And when it comes to chasing your dreams, sleep is often the first thing people must learn to balance and sacrifice. Think about the most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, or leaders you admire. Do you think Elon Musk built Tesla and SpaceX while sleeping 10 hours a night? Do you think Kobe Bryant became one of the greatest basketball players of all time by saying, "I'll just rest today"? Do you think Oprah built her empire by choosing comfort over consistency? No, they all made sacrifices. They all knew that rest is valuable, but dreams are priceless. Let's be clear, this isn't about never sleeping. Sleep is important for your health, for your focus, for your energy. But too often, people use sleep as a shield to protect themselves from responsibility. I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll wake up early next week. I'll start when I feel more rested. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. And before they know it, their dreams are gone because they valued comfort over commitment. Sacrifice sleep doesn't mean destroying your health. It means destroying your excuses. It means waking up an hour earlier or staying up an hour later to work on your craft. It means cutting down the wasted hours of scrolling on your phone at midnight and replacing them with focused effort. It means realizing that if you can find hours to binge watch shows or endlessly chat online, you can find hours to build your dream. Greatness demands those extra hours. It demands discipline. It demands that you work when you don't feel like it. And in those quiet hours, the early mornings, the late nights, that's when you separate yourself from the rest of the world. That's when you prove you're not ordinary. Imagine this. While the world sleeps, you're awake sharpening your skills. While others dream with their eyes closed, you're chasing your dreams with your eyes wide open. While they hit snooze, you hit grind. That's the difference between the life you settle for and the life you were meant to live. And here's the beautiful thing. Sacrifice compounds. The small choices you make today, staying up an extra hour to study, waking up earlier to train, putting in those late-night reps, stack up over time. And while others are standing still, you're surging ahead. Months later, years later, they'll look at your success and say, "You're so lucky." But luck has nothing to do with it. It was sacrifice. The pain of giving up comfort is temporary, but the reward of discipline? That lasts forever. You'll forget the nights you were tired. You'll forget the mornings you struggled to get up. But you will never forget the feeling of standing on the other side of victory, knowing you earned it. Right now, someone out there is chasing the same dream you have, the same goals, the same vision. And the only difference between whether they succeed or you succeed will be who's willing to sacrifice more, who's willing to wake up earlier, who's willing to stay up later, who's willing to pay the price. So let me ask you, how much do your dreams mean to you? Do they mean enough for you to give up comfort? Enough to endure fatigue? Enough to silence that voice that says, you deserve to rest? Because if your dreams are truly worth it, and deep down, you know they are, you cannot afford to treat them casually. The world doesn't reward the comfortable. The world rewards the relentless. The people who keep moving when it's inconvenient. The people who build when others are resting. The people who sacrifice a little now to gain everything later. One day, your future self will look back on the nights you stayed up, the mornings you got up early, the hours you gave when you didn't feel like it, and they'll thank you. They'll thank you for choosing purpose over comfort, for choosing dreams over sleep, for choosing discipline over regret. Because that's the ultimate truth. The pain of sacrifice is nothing compared to the pain of regret. A few hours of lost sleep will never hurt as much as a lifetime of wondering, what if I tried harder? What if I gave more? What if I didn't quit? Don't let your dreams die because you wanted comfort more than legacy. Sacrifice sleep, not your dreams. Because dreams, once lost, don't come back easily. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You cannot live an extraordinary life while living with ordinary habits. You can't want success and comfort at the same time. You have to pick one. And that's why sacrifice is the great separator. That's why most people stay average, because they're not willing to give up what's easy for what's essential. Think about it. Everyone says they want success. Everyone talks about their dreams. But when the alarm clock rings at 5 a.m., most people hit snooze. When it's time to put in extra hours, most people say, I'll do it tomorrow. When it requires staying up late, studying, practicing, building, sacrificing, they fold. That's why success isn't crowded. That's why winners are few, because only a few are truly willing to do what it takes. Sacrificing sleep isn't about punishing yourself. It's about positioning yourself. It's about putting yourself ahead of the millions of people who are still in bed while you're putting in the work. Do you realize how powerful that is? Every extra hour you dedicate builds a gap between you and the competition. Every time you wake up early or push through the fatigue, you're creating distance. And over time, that distance becomes unstoppable. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two people with the same dream. One decides to rest, relax, and take it easy. The other decides to sacrifice a little comfort, stays up late, wakes up earlier, invests in their goal every single day. Fast forward a year. Who do you think will be closer to their dreams? The answer is obvious, and the gap will only widen with time. The truth is, the dream you're chasing is too important to be put on hold. Maybe it's building a business. Maybe it's becoming financially free. Maybe it's being the best athlete in your field. Or maybe it's simply becoming a stronger, better version of yourself. Whatever it is, it's not going to wait for you. Opportunities don't knock forever. And if you're not ready, if you choose comfort over commitment, you'll miss your chance. Sacrificing sleep is symbolic. It shows the world, and more importantly, it shows yourself that you're willing to pay the price, that you're serious, that your dream means more to you than temporary comfort. Because that's all sleep is, temporary. But your legacy? That's eternal. Ask yourself, what do you want to be remembered for? Do you want to be remembered as someone who played it safe, stayed comfortable, and faded into the background? Or do you want to be remembered as someone who went all in, who pushed through exhaustion, who sacrificed comfort to achieve something remarkable? History doesn't remember the comfortable. History remembers the committed, the ones who burned the midnight oil, the ones who rose before the sun, the ones who gave more when others gave up. And here's something most people overlook. Discipline in one area of your life strengthens discipline in every other area. When you sacrifice sleep for your dreams, you're not just working on your goals, you're training your mind. You're teaching yourself that comfort is not your master. You're proving to yourself that you control your choices, not your excuses. And once you've built that kind of discipline, there's nothing you can't achieve. Think about the word dream. Dreams are supposed to be lived, not just slept through. Too many people confuse dreaming with sleeping. They dream in their beds, instead of waking up and chasing those dreams in the real world. But not you. Not anymore. You're here because you know your dream deserves more. You know your dream deserves action. And yes, it will hurt. Yes, you will be tired. Yes, there will be days when your body begs for rest, when your mind tells you to quit, when every part of you wants to give up. But those are the exact moments that separate winners from quitters. The winners push through. The quitters go back to bed. Which one are you going to be? Because here's the reality. Fatigue is temporary, but fulfillment is forever. You'll forget the yawns, the heavy eyes, the tired mornings. But you'll never forget the feeling of standing at the top, knowing you gave everything you had to get there. That's the type of satisfaction that no amount of extra sleep could ever give you. Let me remind you of something powerful. Every sacrifice you make now adds up to freedom later. Sacrifice the comfort of a few hours of sleep today, and you earn the freedom to live your dreams tomorrow. Sacrifice some rest now, and you earn respect later. Sacrifice a little comfort, and you gain confidence, courage, and conviction. The people who win in life are the people who treat their dreams like life or death. Because in many ways, it is. Your dream is your life's purpose. Your dream is the reason you're here. And if you don't sacrifice for it, you'll sacrifice your potential. You'll sacrifice your greatness. So tonight, when you feel tired, when you're tempted to shut it down and say, "I'll do it tomorrow," remember this: tomorrow is never guaranteed. The only moment you own is the one you have right now. Don't waste it. Don't trade it for sleep. Don't let comfort steal what you were destined to create. Because the truth is simple: sacrifice sleep, not your dreams. And one day, when you're living the life you once only imagined, you'll look back and realize every extra hour, every tired morning, every sacrifice, it was worth it. You know what separates the people who achieve greatness from the ones who only talk about it? It's not luck. It's not talent alone. It's consistency and sacrifice. The champions, the leaders, the legends, they didn't get there because everything was easy. They got there because they were willing to do what others wouldn't. They were willing to give up comfort for commitment. When you decide to sacrifice sleep for your dreams, you are declaring something powerful: that your purpose is greater than your pillow, that your future is more important than your comfort, that your potential matters more than your excuses. And that decision is what will change your life. But let's be honest, this journey isn't glamorous. No one is clapping for you at 3 a.m. while you're studying, building, writing, or grinding. No one is cheering when you turn down parties or say no to late-night distractions because you're focused on your goals. In fact, people may laugh at you. They may say, "You're crazy. Why don't you just relax? Why don't you sleep in like everyone else?" But here's the truth: you're not like everyone else. If you want an average life, do what average people do. But if you want an extraordinary life, you have to live differently. And that means sacrifice. That means while others are chasing temporary comfort, you're chasing permanent greatness. While others are lost in dreams they'll never pursue, you're awake, building yours. Think about the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, inventors, and leaders throughout history. Do you think they slept in? Do you think they wasted hours in bed while their vision called for action? No, they sacrificed. Michael Jordan practiced harder than anyone else. Elon Musk worked nights, slept on the factory floor, and poured every ounce of energy into his vision. Oprah sacrificed comfort to build her empire. The list goes on and on. Greatness doesn't just happen. It's earned in the hours no one else sees. And that's where you are right now, behind the scenes. You're putting in the work that no one claps for. You're enduring the sacrifice that no one praises. But trust me, when the results come, when the success shows, when the dream becomes reality, everyone will notice. Everyone will see what you built, and they'll wonder how you did it. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it was in those quiet, lonely hours. You'll know it was in the late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices no one else was willing to make. That's where greatness is forged. Sacrificing sleep isn't just about time, it's about mindset. It's about proving to yourself that nothing will stop you. Because when you can control your comfort, you can control your destiny. Most people let their bodies dictate their actions. They let tiredness make their decisions. But you're different. You know your goals require sacrifice. You know your dreams demand discipline. And when you master that, you become unstoppable. Let me tell you something powerful. Every hour you invest in your dream compounds. It doesn't just add, it multiplies. The book you study tonight might spark the idea that changes your life. The extra practice you put in might be the reason you outperform everyone else. The late night grind might be the breakthrough that separates you from the crowd. You don't always see the results immediately, but they are building, stacking, growing. And one day, the world will see what you've been working on in silence. Yes, you will be tired. Yes, there will be nights you want to quit. But remember this, exhaustion is temporary, but regret lasts forever. Imagine being 10, 20, 30 years down the road and realizing you could have had everything you wanted, but you chose sleep instead. You chose comfort instead of courage. You chose to rest instead of rise. That regret is heavier than any sacrifice. Don't let that be your story. Instead, imagine this. You look back one day and realize you did it. You built the life you wanted. You achieved the dream that once felt impossible. You broke the limits that others accepted. And it all started with the choice to sacrifice comfort for commitment. That feeling, that fulfillment, is worth every tired morning and every sleepless night. You see, success isn't just about reaching the goal. It's about who you become along the way. Sacrificing sleep builds resilience. It builds grit. It builds character. It teaches you discipline that carries into every area of your life. Your career, your relationships, your mindset. And once you've proven to yourself that you can sacrifice for your dream, nothing can stop you. Here's the secret. You don't have to sacrifice sleep forever. This isn't about never resting or burning yourself out. It's about seasons of sacrifice. It's about pushing harder when it matters most. It's about doing what needs to be done in this chapter of your life so that in the next chapter, you can rest in success, not excuses. Because one day, your dream will give you freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, purpose-driven freedom. But right now, it demands sacrifice. So tonight, when your body tells you to give up, when your mind whispers, just sleep, I want you to hear this instead. Your dream is calling. And your dream cannot wait. Because if you're not willing to sacrifice now, you'll sacrifice later. You'll sacrifice opportunity. You'll sacrifice potential. You'll sacrifice greatness. And that's a trade you cannot afford to make. Sacrifice sleep, not your dreams. And one day, when the world sees your victory, they'll understand why you chose the hard road. They'll understand why you kept going when others stopped. And they'll realize that greatness always comes at a price, and you were willing to pay it. There will always be people who say, you're doing too much. They'll say, you're working too hard. You're losing sleep. You're wasting your youth. But let me ask you, what's the alternative? To waste your life? To live with regret? To settle for a life that doesn't inspire you, doesn't challenge you, and doesn't fulfill you? That's the real tragedy. The truth is, the dreamers who wake up earlier, stay up later, and sacrifice comfort are the ones who change the world. Every breakthrough, every invention, every masterpiece, every success story you admire was built by someone who was willing to give up something now for something greater later. They paid the price that others refused to pay. Sacrifice sleep, not because sleep is the enemy, but because excuses are. Not because you don't value rest, but because you value purpose more. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're choosing something most people don't have the courage to choose. And that makes you rare. That makes you powerful. Picture yourself 5 years from now. Imagine waking up in the house you dreamed of, working you are willing to pay the price. And because of that, you will have what others only dream about. You see, every time you stay up late working, Every time you rise early to chase your goals, you are proving something powerful to yourself. You are proving that your dream matters. And once you prove that, nothing and no one can take it away. It won't always be easy. There will be nights when your eyes burn with exhaustion. There will be mornings when your body begs you to stay in bed. But when that happens, remember this. You're not just fighting for today. You're fighting for your future. You're fighting for your family, your legacy, your freedom. You're fighting for the life you refuse to give up on. And here's what's even more powerful. Every sacrifice you make inspires someone else. You don't even realize it, but people are watching you. They see your discipline, your drive, your refusal to quit, and it gives them hope. Your sacrifices don't just build your dream. They give others permission to chase theirs. That's legacy. That's impact. That's greatness. So yes, sacrifice sleep if you must. Wake up earlier, stay up later, push harder, and do the work. Because in the end, you won't remember the nights you were tired. You'll remember the life you built. You won't remember the yawns. You'll remember the victories. You won't regret the hours you lost sleeping. You'll regret the opportunities you missed if you didn't. And when success finally comes, and it will, you'll stand there with a smile, knowing you paid the price. Knowing every sacrifice was worth it. Knowing you chose greatness over comfort. And in that moment, you'll thank yourself for every late night, every early morning, every choice you made when no one else believed in you. So let me leave you with this. The pillow may be soft, but your dream is stronger. The bed may be comfortable, but your destiny is worth more. Don't trade your future for temporary rest. Don't trade your dream for comfort. Don't trade greatness for sleep. Sacrifice sleep, not your dreams. And one day, the world will celebrate your victory. Now it's your turn. Don't just listen, act. Tonight, instead of scrolling, instead of wasting time, invest in yourself. Write that plan. Study that skill. Build that business. Do the work. And tomorrow, wake up knowing you're one step closer. Because your dreams are waiting. Your future is waiting. Your legacy is waiting. And the question is, are you willing to sacrifice for it? The answer has to be yes. Because greatness is calling, and it will not wait.